It's always my pleasure, and you can see the copy with me.
Yes. Yes,
Yes,
you do.
you sent
Yeah.
me a long time ago, but
Yes, I did. Yep.
this book actually features or covers all important aspects of 21st century teacher. Actually,
Yes.
if there is any teacher who wants to tailor the needs of students, especially in 21st century, you must have this copy.
Yeah. It's something that for me changed the trajectory of my teaching. Um I was very stuck in that mindset of perfection, and turns out that to reach all students, that's something that's not needed at all. That growth mindset is.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I do appreciate the opportunity to do this. I know that, STEM education is something that is associated with my name a lot in terms of, thinking that is my passion, and something that I speak of a lot right now is STEM is has been what I've used to bring about those types of skills in students that I feel are necessary to survive and to thrive in this world. STEM in and of itself just promotes those types of 21st century skills, like you said, in a way in a classroom where they're supported to develop those skills. So you could take that acronym STEM for me and you could replace it with anything really, so long as we're promoting those types of skills. But what I found with STEM was I was able to have those hands-on experiences and have those engaging activities that really kept students interested in class.
Good morning, sir. How are you, sir?
I'm great. How are you?
I am also fine, sir. Thank you, sir. I would like to ask you a question, sir. Can I ask?
Yes.
Here, my question is, what is life like in Indiana? Could you please tell us about importance of STEM education?
Yeah. Life in Indiana is very it depends on where you live in Indiana. Just like where you live, if you go north in your country and if you go south in your country, there are different climates. And in my state that I live in, it's very much the same. Going north, you get very cold and up near a lake. And if you go south, the topography of the ground changes quite a bit, and it's usually warmer down there. Um, so right now we have winter time, so the ground outside my window right now is all covered with snow. Um, but in the summertime, it is very, very hot. So we have four very distinct seasons here. In terms of weather, that's what it's like. In terms of every day, everybody gets up every day and they go to work every day and they come home. Usually, our economy here is based on agriculture. But if you're not in agriculture, you have jobs in varying businesses around.
Okay, Chad, actually snow. I think
Thank you, sir.
snowfall is something that is quite unusual for us because
Yeah.
we are living in a tropical country where we experience the warmer weather almost
Yes.
throughout the 365 days.
Would you
So
like me to turn my
yes,
computer so
yes,
you can
yeah, yeah,
see
yeah,
the snow? Okay, give me
yeah.
just
That's
1
what
second
I
here.
am requesting.
Okay. So I won't be able to see, but
So students, look at the weather out there in Indiana at the moment.
and that water out there is a lake and it
Ah,
is completely frozen over, completely
wow.
frozen over.
Chad, I think you have a beautiful weather right now with the snow and trees, lake. What a pleasant.
Well, thank you. Thank you. I'm very blessed.
How are
Yeah.
you?
I'm great. Thank you. How are you today?
I'm fine, sir. Thank you. My
Good.
name is Nitvika. I'm an 8th grader from GBHS School, Ailevaram. Here, I would like to ask you a question, sir. Can I ask you?
Yes, you may. Thank you.
What is your latest position? Could you please tell us about it?
Yeah, I recently, within the past 2 years, I earned my doctorate in education, and with that comes the opportunity to move from primary education into higher education, what we call college here in the United States. So I now am a director of accreditation for a teaching school, which means that I work with the college to make sure that their programs that they're training their teachers in are accredited and meeting specific standards. So even though I'm no longer in the classroom, I still feel like my work affects students because I'm ensuring that the programs that are training teachers are held to a high standard and that they meet those standards. So I work on the computer a lot now. Instead of working with students, I now work with a lot of data, which is different. It's different, but it was a step that I felt was something that would allow me to continue to grow and challenge myself.
Yeah, that's great. Chad, I have a supplementary question in this connection. If there is any opportunity for any teacher in your country, if they do their masters, or maybe if they do their doctor of philosophy in their chosen fields,
Yes.
are they usually promoted to the next position? What you have achieved at the moment?
Yeah. I would say that the opportunity to advance depends upon I think it depends upon what licensure you get with along with your degree. A degree in and of itself does not guarantee you to advance in public school in our primary education. However, the licenses that you get along with them allow you to be administration or district level administration and stuff like that. That would allow you to take other positions such as directors of maybe instruction, along those lines outside of the classroom.
So that means to get the license, you need to take a test. I mean, some
Yes.
test you have to pass. Am I right?
Yes. Yes, definitely so. Yeah, definitely. And usually in order to qualify for those tests, you must take coursework that qualifies you to take those tests.
Mm. So as you get promoted from one level to another level, actually, your salary also increases. Am I right?
Usually, yes. Yeah, that's usually the expectation is that as you move from one and there aren't really levels, but as you are promoted, there are usually increases in pay associated with that. We also, even as a I was in the classroom for 18 years, and our pay scale for the most part every year went up at least a little bit. Every year that you were there, you got an increase in pay.
Mm. So, and if any teacher in USA working in a primary school teacher as a primary school teacher, unless he passed the test, he remain in the same position throughout his, period of service.
Yes. Well, let's say this again, as you continue to gain years of experience, your pay will increase. However, there's a ceiling of pay, there's a maximum of pay that they will reach eventually. And in order to jump into another category of pay, you would need to take a position of like administration or director. Now, that doesn't mean that first grade teachers earn less than second grade teachers. That just means that for primary grades or secondary grades, something like that, they all kind of are on the same salary trajectory. And it depends on how many years of experience you have.
Okay,
So
that means if
they could change their position. They could move from a second grade position to a fourth grade position, but that doesn't change their pay.
Hmm. Okay, that means the pay is allowed depending on your experience, not just your qualification or something like that. Am I right?
Yes, true.
Good morning, sir. I am
Good
Husniya.
morning.
I am a 8th grader. It's pleasure to meet you, sir. Can I
It's
ask
a
you a
pleasure
question?
to meet you also.
Can I ask you a question, sir?
Yes, you may.
How did you approach integrating technology and hands-on experiments in your lessons to enhance student engagement and understanding?
That's a great question. I think that your teacher can speak to you about my experience of starting as a teacher who did not do hands-on experiments and did not do technology. I stuck to the book. I taught out of the book a lot. And there was nothing wrong with that, but I didn't see much engagement in my students. My students weren't very interested. Um, so I began trying to do things in class that increase their engagement. I was lucky to be coaching a science Olympiad team that competed with all of these different building experiments and projects, and I started integrating those into my classroom because I saw that they applied the content that we were learning from the book. So that's where I started, was little bits at a time, trying to find ways of practical application of knowledge with projects that engaged students. So that's where the integration of hands-on began in my classroom, was really trying to find ways that kids could see that what they were learning out of the book applied to real objects and real world scenarios. And then the technology aspect of it really started off incorrectly also. I thought that technology in the classroom, just having it, was going to be enough. But then I realized that as we were going through a specific process of learning, students really found technology useful when I could strengthen each step of the process by using technology. So we were able to collect data better because of technology. We were able to analyze data better because of technology. We were able to communicate better because of technology. All of the skills that I wanted to promote in students were able to be increased due to our use of technology. So I used to just put technology in because I thought it was very neat or interesting, but I realized that it needed to have a purpose. There needed to be a reason for our technology in our process of learning, so that I could emphasize that we would not be able to do it this well if you didn't use the piece of technology that we had chose. That's a wonderful question. Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning, sir. My name is Gayatri Salve. I am studying 7th grade. Can I ask one question, sir?
Yes, you may. It's great to meet you.
What inspired you to pursue a career in STEM education, and what keeps you passionate about it today?
Well, one of the reasons that I feel STEM is so important is because every one of us in this world are going to face problems and challenges. And sometimes our education that we receive teaches us a lot of content and a lot of knowledge, but it does not prepare us for the challenges and problems and how to address them in a method that will hopefully bring about a better result for us. STEM education follows a very prescribed and very logical type of process to address problems and challenges, and it's problem solving and it's critical thinking. And for me, having experienced a lot of the world and challenges that are associated with the world, I see STEM education as promoting those types of critical thinking and problem solving that are necessary for everyone in this world to address challenges. So long as this world continues to promote or provide problems every day and challenges every day, that's what keeps me passionate about it, because I know that the skills and the types of mindset that are necessary to address those challenges, those are what are promoted through STEM education.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
How are you, sir?
I'm great. How are you today?
I am also fine, sir.
Good.
Thank you, sir. My name is Farhat. I am an 8th grader from JPHS School, Ailavaram. I would like to ask a question. Can I ask, sir?
Yes, you may. Thank you.
In your experience, how does the inclusion of arts in STEM education impact students' problem solving skill and overall engagement?
Yeah, well, art to me is creativity, right? Realized. And oftentimes, whenever we address problems, we address them from a very logical point of view. And sometimes we need that creative, divergent type of thought that is associated with art and artistic creativity to be able to come up with a better solution. So for me, the inclusion in art does a couple of things. First of all, I've witnessed students who are very artistic come up with wonderful creative solutions to challenges that those of us who think very logically do not come up with. And then second, sometimes that creative side opens up a new potential of options for addressing challenges that the logical side doesn't necessarily think of. So it's very much it boils down to me of finding the best way to address challenges and problems. And sometimes that artistic side and that creative side provides opportunities and options that the other hadn't thought of. So art is vital, and I love to see the creativeness of students being expressed through a problem-solving process.
Okay, thank you so much. The STEM actually consists of different subjects like science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics.
Yeah.
When a teacher of mathematics is teaching the classroom, so do you think that does the teacher required to possess the all the subject knowledge of disciplines of science, technology, engineering, and arts also?
Yeah, that's a difficult conversation to have as we begin implementing STEM into schools, because historically content areas have been very siloed, meaning the math teacher is only responsible for math, the science teacher is only responsible for science. What we're really looking for in STEM education is a holistic type of education where everyone sees the importance of the knowledge from different content areas, including literacy, including social and emotional health, including the science. So what we're really trying to do is provide an authentic, and you can speak of this too, as we go through this world, there are not very many challenges that don't require a mix of your knowledge and abilities and skills from multiple subjects. And really what we're trying to do with STEM education is to emphasize that you might be sitting in math class, but you're using your literacy and communication skills to help communicate, addressing, and challenge. You're using your knowledge from science in terms of content to help address this challenge. We're really making it more of an authentic, relevant type of education that students see that all of their knowledge and all of their skills and all of their experiences are coming together to address this specific challenge. It is a difficult task when speaking to veteran teachers to try to let them realize that they're not necessarily teaching science or teaching English in math class. What they're doing is they're emphasizing the importance of their students' content knowledge from other areas and other subjects while in math class.
Okay, thank you so much. And you have had a great association with this STEM teaching.
Yes.
So far, how many schools actually have adopted this STEM curriculum in their education institutions? In India, slowly the STEM and STEAM education systems are being adopted by the different education institutions slowly after realizing the importance of this particular system.
Yeah.
How about in your region and on the whole, how is the system in your country? Are all schools are accepting this particular curriculum, or do they have any other type of curriculum?
Yeah, our education system varies greatly from state to state. So we do have 50 states in the United States. And if you visited all 50 of them and spoke to their departments of education, each one of them would be a little different. STEM has been something probably for the past 10 years that's been emphasized. Probably, I can't speak to all other states, but in Indiana, in the past 10 years, it has really gained a lot of traction. A lot of resources have been put into developing teachers and developing the instruction that teachers provide and the curriculum that teachers use and the connections that teachers make in their classroom to promote STEM education. It is something that schools can earn a certification for their school to become a STEM accredited school in Indiana. And I know that other states, not all states, but other states have adopted that same method. It is our education system also spends a lot of time and money emphasizing one thing for a long time or for a while, and then they move on to something else. Right now, STEM education is still very much in our standards and in our budget from the state to promote and to grow. However, we also have moved on to a great emphasis on literacy right now. And being in with the state some, I can definitely see a shift in priority right now, moving from STEM to the literacy, because what we're realizing is that even if we're emphasizing STEM and promoting STEM education and all of those, students need to be able to read at a grade appropriate level in order to maximize their knowledge in STEM content areas and STEM subjects. So it is promoted. It is still in our standards. We still have conferences all over the state Speaking of the instructional methods and the way to use technology and the way to promote great hands-on experiences. And I feel that that will continue for several years and into the future. But right now there is a shift in our state to emphasize that underlying foundational skill of literacy.
Okay. So that means the underlining the importance of foundational literacy is something which is
Yes.
also prevailing in my country, in my region also. Because
Yes.
if we see some of the students, they are getting promoted from one grade to another grade without having an adequate literacy abilities. So that
Yes.
is a problematic thing even in India, in my region also.
Yes.
When it comes to the STEM education, what kind of training sessions are in place for the teachers who are working in the STEM based schools? Do you
Yes.
have often some seminars or something like that?
Yes, we do. And luckily, our state just just rolled out I just introduced new integrated, I should say, integrated STEM standards that enable content teachers in all areas, whether that be health or whether that be physical education or history or science, all subject areas now have a set of standards that they are expected to meet that promote the STEM mindset and the STEM content knowledge. And in order to first of all bring about awareness, we have seminars and we have conferences and we have sessions that are promoted from the state level to all school corporations. But then we also will have regional conferences where we're allowed to go and introduce these standards one at a time, not only bringing about awareness of the standard, but also bringing about um, resources for teachers to use to meet that standard. So there has been a great effort from the state to connect educators with the resources and the knowledge they need to not only, yes, become aware of, but also to implement these standards in a method that brings about the best results for their students.
Okay, here is my last question. The students, those who after completion of this STEM based curriculum, do
Yes.
they have any specific job opportunities to pursue? I mean,
Yeah, let's say when they go through primary and they go through high school, they have options of once they get into like sixth, seventh, and eighth grade, they have electives that they choose, and then they'll go to high school and they'll have specific electives that they choose. And oftentimes those electives are based on their career path that they see that they are going to pursue. Um, Oftentimes that career path will change once they get into college. As I said in the book, we have students at the age of 18 years old that are making decisions in college that affect the rest of their life, but they're not necessarily mature enough and have the experience to really make quality information-based, data-based decisions. So yes, they'll go to college as a engineer or as a going to be a doctor or going to be, something in a STEM field. And then they may find while there that that's not necessarily what they want to do. So they might change. Um, but if they continue to pursue that same STEM field, then yes, the jobs that are available right now in the United States for STEM majors, the number of job openings far, far, far outweigh or outnumber the number of qualified graduates that are coming out of college. STEM fields in the United States are growing exponentially in terms of employment opportunities, and the number of candidates coming out of college do not meet that need. That's where we're at right now. I don't know what the future in terms of this next wave of graduates coming out holds, but as of right now, there are job openings for those careers.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm sure that those who pursue their career in STEM subjects will have a bright future, as you have rightly stated the fact. So
Yes.
before we wind up the session, may I request you to give a message to my students?
Your students in no matter, it does not matter to me when I speak to my students. I listen to what they want to be, and what their career goals are, or family goals. Everyone, no matter what you choose, needs to adopt that mindset of constant improvement, but at the same time understanding that there are going to be times where you take a step that wasn't right. That's what STEM has done for me, is to understand that growth does not always look like this perfect line straight up. Growth sometimes looks like a little dip, and then an improvement, and then another dip, and then an improvement. You are going to make mistakes. We are going to have times where we wish we hadn't made the decision that we did, whether that be in personal or career or professional life. But learn from those. Every time we make a mistake, we're provided data in one form or another that told us that that was a mistake. And using that information to base your next decision is what we do in STEM. We use the information from the step before, and we make our next decision based on that. And that's what I would tell all students now, is to just use the information from that they have around them every day to make their best decision, the next decision they have to make.